We know about Freddie Freeman, and we know it got a little close in the end, Alex. But I mean, I think starting pitching-wise, coming into this series, we all thought that the Yankees had an edge, and we all thought that that's how they would have to win. Well, they haven't had an edge in the first two games, and that's a big problem for them.
Yeah, the Dodgers have been dominant, and they've been dominant both hitting and pitching. And, Poppy, I thought you brought up a great point in the green room today. You know, unlike the Dodgers, when their big three, their big MVPs, Freddie being one of them, Betts and Ohtani, when they don't hit, you have other Hernandez and Edman won the MVP. When the Yankees' big three don't hit, they're in trouble. What'd you see?
Very much trouble. And let me tell you, the Dodgers are so deep in their lineup. I mean, they can get away with not having an Ohtani showing up. We're not having a Mookie showing up. We're not having a Muncy showing up. Even Freddie, that has been super hot. If he don't show up, you have Edman winning the ALDS MVP, and then you had tonight my man Teoscar hitting a home run. I mean, if the big three for the Yankees don't hit, they are in some serious trouble. And the way Aaron just is swinging the bat right now is very critical.
Well, I think, look, the Yankees are built on those guys, right? You know, that's what got them here. The thing with the Dodgers is they're all hot, every single one of them. And there's no easy outs in the lineup. For New York, you got a couple guys that are struggling. And if you don't have the big guys that are swinging the bats, but Soto's been swinging it, Stanton's been swinging it, Aaron's been scuffling a little bit, but the Dodgers are so deep offensively that they are, you don't want to say impossible, but it's stressful from the first inning on, any pitcher that's on the mound pitching them.
Yeah, I think it's a tough task with the way their offense is performing right now. We talked about Tommy Edman with Freddie Freeman. The guy has been fantastic. Let's hear from him. He's with our Tom Verducci. Because Yamamoto, you know, Derek, we talked his start in June at Yankee Stadium was the best he had all year, and then he got hurt. The next start was out for a while with the shoulder. And you rightfully said it had nothing to do with tonight. Well, tonight, he was maybe just as good. 2 starts against the Yankees. He allowed 3 combined hits. I know they gave him the most money ever by a pitcher. He earned it tonight.
Yeah, he did earn it tonight. And, you know, the thing is, he's had so much success in big games in Japan. So I just both sides of the zone, up and down. It's tough, man. It's a tough AB.
And look, Yamamoto in 2 starts against the Yankees has been brilliant and dominant. 13.1 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 11 Ks. If you look at Soto tonight, he went 2 for 4. The rest of the team, 2 for 27. And KB, to answer your question more specifically, what Yamamoto was really good at today was getting ahead with the fastball and setting up his split off that same lane. And he had these guys in a rocking chair all night going back and forth. They never felt comfortable.
Guys, we used to be hitters. We know that it can get no better than what he did tonight. I mean, he was keeping batter off of balance so incredibly good tonight. I mean, he was using, I would call it knock a curve. A knock a curve, that breaking ball that is like have the split action. He was throwing that whenever he feel like. And then when he come with a 98, it was surprising for the batters.
Yeah, and then you get a lead, and then you have an offense that's been struggling a little bit, and everyone tries to do a little too much. We were back in the green room, and it was 4-1. We felt like the game was over.
Absolutely.
Right? That was the feeling that was out here. So the Yankees need to regroup. They got a long flight, lots to think about.
Talk about a long flight, Cap. If you're on this flight today as the captain, what would you be telling the group? What would you be telling us?
1 game.
Besides, have a couple drinks.
Yeah, yeah, drink a lot. You get tomorrow off. But, you know, it's 1 game at a time. You know, it's simply 1 game. If you win game 3, the series changes.
Yeah. And then they have bullpen game 4.
100% right. I mean, you got to take it 1 game at a time. If you take the approach, I say it time and time again, I'm sure people get tired of me saying it. If you take the approach every single day, that's the most important game. You can never relax and say you're up 2 games or you're down 2 games. Every game is important. 1 game can change a series.
Yeah, and we'll get to that because obviously you two have both lived it, right, and come back and won those series. But I'm curious now with Ohtani, and we certainly hope he's okay. That was the 1 downer for the Dodgers. We saw in the 7th inning, stole the base, you know, did not look comfortable and called the training team out there. And you see, here's the play. Ken Rosenthal reported shoulder, but that's all he knew in game for the Dodgers. And there was a pickup by the Japanese telecast that Ohtani saying that the shoulder may have popped out. Now that you know, we'll see what Dave Roberts said. We're waiting on confirmation from Dave, who's about to meet the media, the Dodgers manager, and we'll see. We certainly hope he's okay, but I wonder what that does to the Dodgers if you take the all-world Ohtani out, even for a game or two, Alex. I mean, you know, we'll have to wait and see. I don't want to speculate, but, you know, it certainly is a blow if he can't play Game 3.
Yeah, you're right. You can't speculate. But look, the Dodgers are in good shape, and obviously everyone's going to miss Ohtani. But this offense, Kevin, is a locomotive. I mean, they've had a great lineup for 10 years. This is by far their best and their most complete because they hit with power, they know the strike zone, and kryptonite for them was left-handed pitching. But they brought in the two Hernandez brothers, and they brought in Edman, the MVP of the last series. So they have no weaknesses. Therefore, Kevin, long-winded to say, I think they're going to be okay. Obviously not for the whole series, but if he misses one game, I think the Dodgers can recover.
Yeah. I might disagree with you on that
like
one
that.
because his presence on the lineup is in another level. When you know that you're going to have an Ohtani leading off in the game, that put pressure on the opposition. I would say this. If he misses a game, that probably not affecting as much. But if he missed the end of the series, the rest of the series, we are just speculating right here. Hopefully not. That can affect the Dodgers at some point.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's we've talked about Ohtani, but you know, you hope the baseball world gets a chance to see Ohtani the rest of this series. You want him to be out there and get a chance.
Definitely.
To play. But even if you look at what the Dodgers were able to do when Freddie wasn't in the lineup, Freddie's an MVP. He was out. And the Dodgers won those games. So they're so deep offensively, and everyone has been swinging the bat so well. Of course, you're going to miss him. Right? But let's hope he's back for Game 3.
Yeah, we can only hope, and we'll wait to get the official update in a moment. Again, Dave Roberts scheduled to meet the media momentarily. Meanwhile, for the Yankees, Aaron Judge, Derek, you had a great piece with him to sit down with Judge earlier, and it was awesome. And just talking about him and you know what he's done for that organization. Obviously, the great year. And he said the only thing is he'll find it, but he might run out of time. Right? Well, now it's down 2-0. He had another 3-strikeout game, 0 for 4, and time is running out, right? They need him in New York Game 3. What do you see for him going forward?
Yeah, they need him. Look, they need him to show up and have some success. Look, you know he's going to, I shouldn't say show up. He shows up every day.
Of course.
Right? He shows up every day, and he's battling, but they need some production from Aaron. He'll be the first one to tell you. But as I said before, this Dodgers pitching staff, especially the bullpen, these are not the guys you want to try to find your swing against. It is very difficult. You get to this point in the season, in the World Series, you're facing the best. Everyone has scouting reports. Everyone will try to exploit your weakness. No one's just saying, here you go, hit it. But when you get your pitch to hit, you can't miss it. You may get one every AB, as you guys know. You just can't miss it.
And Derek, you know, I feel for Aaron Judge. I got to tell you, he's one of the best guys in the game. And for a guy that's had such a historic season as Freddie Freeman goes by.
Yeah, roaring for Freddie as he leaves the field.
You got to feel for him, Pompey. He had such an incredible season, and to fall in hard times, he's got 6 strikeouts over the last 9 at-bats. But I'm going to show you what being lost looks like, because I've been there, and all of us. Here's a 2-0 fastball. Well, he gets a 2-0. Now there's a count. Right down Broadway, and he didn't even flinch. Here comes a breaking ball, and here comes a split. I mean, Kevin, the 3 of us have been there. Fastball right down the middle in the World Series is what you dream about. 4-seamer. He did not move. And we've talked about reading body language. You heard Freddie Freeman right here talk about body language, how he took a pitch. This stuff is real. And when you see that, you see confusion. And it's getting worse, not better. Hopefully with a day off, Poppy, he can reset and get going back in the Bronx.
I agree with you on multiple things. First of all, you don't want to try to find your swing against a pitcher like the Dodgers, like the pitching stuff that they have. They have really good stuff, and they will confuse you more if you are trying to find your swing against these guys. But the most important thing, like you say, he's been caught up in between. When you are in hitter account and you are taking those fastballs like that means you're thinking too much. And you know what? At the end of the day, guys build up like him, like you, like myself, we can get away with using our body less and using our hands more. That's what he needs to go back to.
Great
Try
point.
to use his hands more than his body so he can find himself easier.
Well, I tell you what, look, we were having the same conversation about Mookie Betts a couple series ago.
We were.
Took one game, things changed. We were talking about Freddie Freeman. Didn't have an extra base hit forever. One swing, change, took off. The Yankees need Aaron to have that swing and to take off. It brings me back to, and I hate to do this because we're on TV, but you think about Game 7 when we beat you guys in 2003. Jorge Posada got that big hit off Pedro. Jorge didn't get a hit off Pedro Martinez, I don't think, in his life leading up to that, right? He used to come back and he'd say, I think Pedro knows what I'm thinking, you know? But it's one hit, and that's what he's going to be remembered for.
Break the ice.
Aaron needs to have that one hit. Hopefully it comes in Game 3, and it changes his fortunes.
Kevin, you asked a great question in the pregame, which was, how does this affect Judge mentally? Walking Soto yesterday to get to him, I think tonight you got your answer. 2-0 fastball right down Broadway, 50-something home runs. He didn't even budge. That's mental. That's not physical. That's something to watch.
Hey, hopefully going home could get Judge hot for the Yankees. Meanwhile, the Dodgers are wondering about their superstar. Dave Roberts is now at the podium. Let's see what he has to say about Ohtani's injury. New York, a little different vibe, no doubt, and see if that changes things for the Yankees down 2-0. And I'm curious, right? Derek, you were talking earlier about coming back from 0-2, which you did in '96. But I'm curious, Alex, just for the Yankees, how do they do it? Like, what has to change for them in Game 3 to get back in this series?
KB, look, if you zoom out for a minute and take the emotions out of it, they've actually pitched well, okay? They've given them a shot. But the bottom line is they've left 17 men on base, and with men in scoring position, you're 2 for 14. If you were 4 for 14, you could be 1-1 or 2-0 the other way. So, look, baseball doesn't change. You got to play fundamental baseball, but I would activate this offense a little bit. And what I mean by that is, can you bunt? Can you hit and run? Can you steal? And I know you haven't done that for 6 months, but you can't afford to just sit back and wait on the 3-run home run because it's not coming. Sometimes you got to think, like Joe Torre would say, think small and big things would happen.
Well, it's not a secret for anyone that if the big three don't come through, they are in so much trouble. I mean, the ALDS say it all. I mean, the big guys came through, they scored some runs, they hit some home runs, an important moment, and that's how they won that series. Now, they need some collaboration from everybody in the lineup. I see that if the big guy who have so much pressure right now, you heard the question, what it was right there, why are you coming out of the strike zone? And he's right. We played the game before. We know that when nothing is going, you try to put that extra to make things happen. And that's what is going on with him right now. But now, if you have support from some other batters, then all the pressure is not on you, things might happen easier.
Yeah, and I think, to your point, Al, about doing different things offensively, hit and run, bunting guys, stealing. They haven't done it for 6 months. They're not going to start doing it in Game 3. They're just not going to do it. You have a couple guys that can run, but those guys got to get on base if they're going to run. It goes back to what we talked about before Game 1. You have to win every game that Garrett Cole pitches. If they won, look, if Freddie didn't hit the grand slam, they win Game 1, we'd be sitting here having a completely different conversation. So that just goes to show you the importance of every single game when you get into a series like this. Game 1 is just as important as Game 7. Game 3 is just important as Game 7. You have to take it one game at a time.
Let's talk about Game 3, though, Gene. If you're the manager of the Yankees, are you mixing things up a little bit, or are you keeping the same lineup exactly?
Keep the same. I don't know what exactly you can do.
Trevino, maybe?
Well, you can make minor adjustments, but I don't think you can do anything drastic at this particular point because the Yankees have been known, if they click, they get rolling. And we all know it only takes one game sometimes. You can take a day off, bam, you click in Game 3 and you carry your way through. So it's 2-0, it's not 3-0. And we all know it's been 3-0 too. So.
And KB, let's not talk about that. KB, both these offenses are bully offense. What I mean, they like to roll. Once they get going, it's hard to stop them. The Dodgers have been going. We need to get the Yankees going a little bit.
It's Walker Buehler. He's got a great postseason record with the Dodgers. He's had a tough couple years with injuries. He was great last time out at Citi Field. And then Clark Schmidt, very, very good and underrated for the Yankees. And a lot going to be on his shoulders as he makes that start at Yankee Stadium in Game 3. Anything strike you about the pitching matchup for Game 3?
Well, I'll tell you, I asked the captain what he would do if I was the lineup. One thing I would do is a Soto move for the Yankees. And maybe you flip Soto and Judge. You try to activate and jumpstart Judge a little bit. And you go Torres, Judge, Soto.
That's interesting. That's a big move.
Well, it is. But, I mean, sometimes you're desperate for runs. You're desperate to activate the big man. Bottom line is, fellas, if he is getting late early, okay, and if Judge doesn't get started, it's going to be a short series. So you're desperate. Why not have their hottest hitter protect Judge, and then you split, you create a matchup, problem for the bullpen.
We'll see what happens there. We know this. The Dodger bullpen has been really, really good. I guess, they're locked and loaded. We've seen it in the entire playoffs. The only maybe slight bright spot for the Yankees, they've gotten to their closer Trinan the last couple of days, right? So if they see him, I guess that's a positive for them, getting at him just a little bit. But the Dodgers in pretty good shape. Up 2-0 as